Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness breaks the MCU multiverse open to the horrors beyond, Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige finally connected the dots of what exactly caused this rupture. No spoilers for Multiverse of Madness in this video, though I was among the lucky attendees of the LA premiere on Monday night, one of those overdressed bozos awkwardly meandering in the background of that red carpet. Whether you're watching this video before seeing the film or later on after, Feige's words here finally confirmed the MCU connective logic we have been theorizing over the past year. I'm gonna break it all down so that we better understand what exactly is happening in Multiverse of Madness, and again, no spoilers for the events of that film in this video. Also, our Moon Knight latest Obsession shirts are about to go back in the vault, and we have a new Multiverse of Madness themed shirt available at newrockstarsmerch.com, so be sure to check that out and get your hands on that one. Okay, at the LA premiere of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Kevin Feige was asked about Doctor Strange's role as the focal character for this multiverse.
How did you know that Doctor Strange would be the character to help take us through the multiverse?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a method to the madness, even of the multiverse, and for the Marvel.com fans who know that Loki and SYLVIE did something at the end of that series that sort of allowed all of this to be possible. He Who Remains is gone, and that allowed a spell to go wrong in Spider-Man No Way Home, which leads to the entire multiverse going quite mad in this.
I feel like you just connected something for me that I don't know. Did we just get a scoop? I feel like
there.
we just got a scoop. It's all connected.
All there.
Okay, all right.
It's there.
It's all there on Disney Plus. That smile is just an upside down swoosh click to get you to subscribe to the House of Mouse streaming platform if you weren't already, because everything Ralph Boner burped is now confirmed canon.
Boner.
Now, if all the stress has made you pull all your hair out, or however you may be losing your hair, Keeps can help you out. 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. With Keeps, you can get quality expert care without ever visiting a doctor's office or pharmacy. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there, but at half the cost of your local pharmacy. Though you never have to go to a doctor's office, Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists to support you in making your hair goals a reality. Easily subscribe to Keeps and get refill reminders so you never run low on the products you need to take care of your hair. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/newrockstars or click the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/newrockstars. So let's break down what Feige just said. In his words, something Loki and SYLVIE did at the end of that series refers, of course, to the finale of Loki when they confronted He Who Remains in a citadel. He Who Remains is, of course, a variant of Kang the Conqueror, the next big bad of the MCU, and that variant getting stabbed by SYLVIE coincided with the sacred timelines unraveling into countless branches. Now, despite our frequent discussion ever since that moment, Feige's words here are actually the closest we've ever gotten to an explanation of what exactly happened there. Now, it is important to note that the sacred timeline had already begun to unravel before SYLVIE stabbed He Remains. That means that the sacred timeline unraveling was already destined to happen moments before, when He Remains monologue was suddenly interrupted and he heard that rumble of thunder.
We just crossed the threshold.
From that moment, He Who Remains did not know what the future held. He was off script because SYLVIE had already made her mental decision to kill him, and therefore the timeline no longer had one set path. He Who Remains was the one Kang variant who represented stability of the multiverse, a multiverse free from incursions. Incursions represented by those little sparks in Miss Minutes intro video in which one universe collides with another. If you imagine He Who Remains' sacred timeline as a tightly coiled loop of infinite timelines, each loop representing a different universe. One universe where it's the MCU that we know, one universe where Loki's female, one universe where he's a gator, one universe where Peggy Carter becomes Cap, etc., etc. Then SYLVIE's fated decision to kill He Who Remains removed the force that bound those coils together in a way that they would never branch off and collide with each other. And so the Loki finale shows the spiderwebby branches, many of which began to collide with other branches, each collision representing an incursion. And then that brought us to the multiversal event in Spider-Man No Way Home, which according to Feige is a causal result of the events in Loki. In No Way Home, when Doctor Strange suggested to use the Runes of Kaf-Kal spell to erase everyone's memory that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Wang warned,
"That spell travels the dark borders between known and unknown reality. It's too dangerous."
Now, I don't think Kevin Feige was saying Peter Parker's interference with that spell had nothing to do with the crisis in that movie, but he said allowed the spell to go wrong, meaning that Strange's spell should have been foolproof enough for a dopey kid to physically step into the middle of an orbiting ring of runes and vocalize his preferences, universes without breaking the whole multiverse. However, the fact that the events of Loki left the multiverse in such a fragile state, something that was unknown to Strange when he began this spell, that Peter's interference was the 1000th crack in that dam that caused Wang's worst case scenario to happen. The Runes of Kafkal is a spell that travels the dark borders of known and unknown reality, meaning it's a kind of Fiddler on the Roof, walking a tightrope, which should normally be okay based on Strange's past usages of it to erase Wang's memory of a full moon party at Kamertage. But since those past incidences, SYLVIE and Loki grabbed that tightrope and shook it, or arguably just cut that rope, leading the Fiddler to fall to his death! So that normally risky but safe spell caused a fragile universe to collide with other universes, incursions, which in No Way Home, thanks to Strange's quick thinking, was limited to just a handful of multiverse men wandering the MCU for a few days. And based on how Sony interpreted that movie's logic for Morbius, that incursion was a two-way revolving door that resulted in Vulture landing in the Sony universe, alongside Morbius and Venom, and maybe Andrew Garfield Peter Parker, we'll see. A brief and limited incursion overall that Doctor Strange patched over with some duct tape and chewing gum. And so finally, and perhaps most interestingly, Feige links that finale of No Way Home with where we now are for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That crisis, according to Feige, leads to the multiverse going quite mad in this. Now we know that portions of Multiverse of Madness had to be reshot after the movie was rescheduled to release after No Way Home. I don't think that necessarily means that Wanda Maximoff or America Chavez or any of Strange's variants looked up and saw the purple cracks around the Statue of Liberty and thought, oh, now we must make our move. But what it does mean is that Wanda's usages of the Darkhold to find a universe with her children in it, and America Chavez fleeing all these multiversal beasts, these things are happening right after Doctor Strange cast a super risky spell that went wrong at the worst possible time for something to go wrong, enabling these characters to jump from universe to universe. Loki and No Way Home were the earthquakes that created the broken landscape that this film takes place upon, and Wanda is more successful in her scouring of these various universes because this incursion process has already been underway. Now in that interview, Kevin Feige went on to say that Multiverse of Madness is equally a culmination of Infinity War and Endgame, so I don't think Loki and No Way Home were the only causes of the multiverse breaking, but just now we have a clearer link of causality that also places blame on all of these bulls in the China shop. To cite Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, a murder doesn't always have just one culprit, but is sometimes the responsibility of many with a variety of motives, and is therefore impossible to attribute to one single killing blow. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.